Over 10% of Humber's nearly 22,000 full-time enrollments are international students. On Monday, 15 Ontario University presidents left for India to attract international students to their institutions. Ontario's policy on international students became a hot topic of debate again last week after Premier Dalton McGuinty announced $20 million in funding for international PhD students. Humber President John Davies says international students provide an important net benefit to Ontario and its post-secondary institutions.
As an economic driver in the province, attracting more international students is a really good concept. You know, it's good business.
Opposition leader Tim Hudak says the McGuinty government should focus its post-secondary funding on recession-wary families instead. Davies, however, says he disagrees.
I don't agree with it. Bluntly, I think it's such a narrow view. I mean, one could equally say that anything that we're spending to attract new business, new qualified people, spending on the economy could be better spent in some other place. But I think that argument, is not particularly persuasive.
We spoke with an international student from Kenya who thinks increased funding will help, and he says will attract more students like him.
If they want more international students, at least they should try and, at least subsidize some few things. We're not saying we want to study for free, but at least make some things, like you can get books, or you can get a cheaper accommodation, but you pay through the nose because you pay 3 times more. You pay 3 times what an ordinary Canadian pays.
Matthew Keefe, a student advisor at Humber's International Centre, says expensive tuition is a complaint he hears a lot.
Oh, definitely, all the time. Once they find out exactly how much domestic students are paying, they're wondering why they pay almost 3 times as much. But I think they do know how much they are paying before they arrive here, and that if this program obviously is good enough that they would want to come all the way to Canada and to pay that kind of money to get the education they can here at Humber. However, with that said, I do believe that we can offer a little bit more in terms of bursaries and financial support to the international students. Currently, we don't really have any funding programs for the international students unless they're in really dire need of it.
In April of this year, Premier McGuinty announced an ambitious plan to increase enrollment of international students at Ontario's post-secondary institutions by 50% over the next 5 years. With lofty numbers like that, issues surrounding grants and subsidies for these students may become increasingly important. For thedailyplanet.com, I'm Phil Heidenreich.